everyone. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, I'm Bonita and this is Pennies to Dollars, where we talk about living frugally, saving money, decluttering, and all of those fun things that kind of go together. That is kind of a minimalist type of life, but not completely. Just all of the most basic parts of life that help you have a better quality of life. And so today we're going to talk about spending money and the idea of spending money. I feel like one of the most dangerous thoughts that you can have is, I have the money for that. And a lot of times when we think I have the money for that, we're thinking I have a credit card, I have the ability to buy it, I still have money left in my account from my last check, or I'm going to get paid tomorrow. So sometimes when we think I have the money for that, we don't really have the money for that. But in this day and age, those thoughts equate to I have the money for that. I had listened to a video the other day about someone talking about having $13 left in their checking account before payday, and so they thought they still had the money to buy something. And if you have $13 left in your account, you really don't have the money left to buy something. But I remember thinking like that in my 20s. I remember knowing I was going to get paid tomorrow and pre-writing checks and mailing them. Do you remember doing that? And knowing they weren't going to get there in time, so I would be okay. I remember already having my money accounted for, called for, spent before I would ever get that check in my hand. And a lot of people now have their checks directly deposited, but in my 20s we wanted to get that paper check because we wanted to hold it just for a minute before we had to give it away to everyone else, because basically when you got your check, it was already gone. It was already accounted for. It was already claimed for certain expenses. So are you in control of your money? That's kind of the question of this video for you to think about. Are you in control of it, or is it in control of you? Is it already spent before you get your check, or do you get to choose how you spend it? Because this is your income. You've worked hard for this. You should be able to determine how you spend that paycheck, and it shouldn't be gone before they ever hand it to us. But a lot of times in the cycle that we're going, that's how it ends up being. And I have a video that I'm going to link on how to get ahead of that cycle, how to get ahead where your money's not already spent before you get your paycheck. Because I know so many of us live in that cycle not knowing how to get out of it. I remember one time I was single with 4 kids. And I remember my dad telling me, you should just stay home and go on welfare, because I was paying $160 a week for babysitting, and I was making minimum wage, which wasn't much more than that. And I told Dad, I said, if I do that, I'll never get out of that hole. I'll never get out, because you always have to have a job to have a babysitter, and you have to have a babysitter to have a job, and I can't always get both of them at the same time. So I have to hang on to this lifestyle to ever get out of the hole that I'm in. And I was right. I did, and I did get out of that hole that I was in. But that's kind of the way with getting your paycheck and it being gone before you get it. You feel like you're never going to get out of that hole that you're in, but there is a way to get out of it. There is a way to get that cycle broken where it's not already gone before you ever get it. Wouldn't you rather own what you have than owe on what you have? Do we really own it if we owe on it? And I touched on that in one of my last videos, but do we really own it if we just owe money on it? Not really. We really don't. Somebody else owns it and we're making payments on that. So we need to get ahead of that cycle. Quality is wonderful. There will be people that say you only live once. Why don't you just get what you want? You can't take it with you. But those are dangerous thoughts, because frugality allows you to not worry. It allows you to not worry about the economy, not worry about the news as much, not worry about inflation as much, and not worry about job loss as much, because you are prepared and you know you can make it through that to the other side. Right now, we're experiencing 9% inflation. And yes, it is very bothersome, I would say, kind of like that mosquito that won't leave you alone. But it's not as scary if you're frugal. Because if you're frugal, you have been living like this for so long that you know you're going to be okay, because your freezer is stocked, your pantry is stocked, you have money in your account to pay your utilities for a while, you have money to live on if you lose your job for a while. You know how to get through these tough times. And that's what's so wonderful about frugality, is that you are living in a safe routine, a safe environment, because you have planned and prepared and made it such. So think about trying to get out of that cycle if you're in it. And think about if you are really in control of your money, or if someone else actually is control of your money. And then see if you can figure out how to get out of that cycle by watching this other video. Good luck to you, and hang in there. It is doable. I'm living proof. I did it, and you can too.